The answer to 1984 is 1776.
He got up to Cheney up close. He got up to Cheney up close and brought up, we know about the stand-down order. We know you carried out 9/11. I'm going to play that video probably coming up at the end of this segment or in the next segment. Totally amazing that this happened. This is powerful, and the national media needs to pick up on this, but we need to get a hold of Luke. He needs to upload it without the music. It's great to upload the one with the music, but the media won't be able to really use it with music playing over the top of it. I understand that's the WeAreChange style, and it's great, and it's had a huge effect. They just may have not thought that through. Again, WeAreChange confronts Dick Cheney on 9/11 stand-down order. The testimony of Norman Mineta is at the end of it. Great job. So it proves what Luke's saying. Before the 9/11 Commission leaves compelling questions about former Vice President Dick Cheney's action on the day of 9/11. Then Transportation Secretary Mineta witnessed Cheney refuse to contradict an apparent stand-down order as an aide warned of something incoming at the Pentagon. Cheney has given conflicting reports about what happened. Mineta has confirmed in 5 separate interviews that Cheney did do what he did and did get there when he said. He entered the PEOC bunker. Mineta later confirmed he suppressed 9/11 Commission testimony and refuted Cheney's account of arriving later. During a CPAC conference, WeAreChange.org confronted Cheney about these questions, which he refused to address. So he got screamed off the stage there, being called a warmonger. And then behind the scenes, this happened days ago, but Luke got back from New York, obviously, and got this uploaded. He goes on, hey, Mr. Cheney, what did you do in the underground bunker on 9/11? Dick Cheney, we know what you did on 9/11 with the stand-down order. Norman Mineta testified against you on the 9/11 Commission report. What happened on 9/11? I'm telling you, Luke Rudkowski's a hero. And it goes on, when he was being forced out, WeAreChange.org founder Luke Rudkowski calmly asked security not to push him. Security backed off after asking him, are you being polite? Luke Rudkowski and, again, James Lane of WeAreChange confront Dick Cheney in Washington, D.C. at CPAC 2/10/011. So that happened 5 days ago, but they just got it uploaded. Incredible job. Incredible job. We salute WeAreChange and all of you out there. Unbelievable. And if we can get the media to pick up on this and reopen that can of worms about the stand-down order, this is so huge. That clip is coming up. An article by Aaron Dykes. Dick Cheney confronted by WeAreChange for ordering 9/11 stand-down. We're going to play the clip of Cheney being confronted by WeAreChange. Then it cuts to Mr. Mineta, then Transportation Secretary in Congress, testifying to the 9/11 Commission, confirming that, and in at least, 4 or 5 other interviews since then with WeAreChange and others. He said, no, what I said's right. That's what happened, and Dick Cheney's mistaken. But Cheney, literally who doesn't have a pulse and has a bionic heart on the outside of his body, a heart pump, a ventricle assister, they're being confronted right after he'd been booed off the stage as being a warmonger by the Republicans at CPAC. So a good send-off for Cheney as he prepares, unless he gets a heart transplant, to move on to Valhalla. I hope he repents of what he's done. I wish no ill will against Cheney, because he's clearly got God to deal with. But let's go ahead and play this amazing video audio clip. Here it is.
Hey, Mr. Cheney. Mr. Cheney, what'd you do in the underground bunker on 9/11? All right,
let's go. Back up.
Cheney. Dick Cheney, we know what you did. Dick Cheney, don't put your hands on me.
Get out of my way. Don't push you. I'll push you, pal.
Don't.
Okay?
Don't push me. You can politely talk. That's what you have to do.
Are you being polite?
Mr. Dick Cheney, we know what you did on 9/11 when you did the stand-down orders. Norman Mineta testified against you on the 9/11 Commission report. Mr. Cheney, we know what happened on 9/11.
Everybody out right now.
Cheney, we know what you did on 9/11 with your stand-down orders. You won't get away with it.
You knew they're going to play with him about Pentagon.
Thank you, Mr. Cheney. Thank you for all you've done for our country. Thank you.
You're a terrorist. You're a terrorist.
Thank you.
During the time that the airplane coming in to the Pentagon, there was a young man who would come in and say to the Vice President, the plane is 50 miles out. The plane is 30 miles out. And when it got down to the plane is 10 miles out, the young man also said to the Vice President, do the orders still stand? And the Vice President turned and whipped his neck around and said, "Of course the orders still stand. Have you heard anything to the contrary?"
A moment's contemplation reveals the magnitude of what we have just heard. Not only was Cheney in the PEOC before Flight 77 hit, he told an obviously nervous aide that the orders still stood and then listened as the plane approached and then hit the Pentagon, the most heavily defended building in the world.
Boy, and We Are Change at the end tag puts my John Hancock up there at the top, Infowars.com. That gives me the willies. I mean, these are mobsters. These are gangsters. These are cold-blooded people. And all I can say is, We Are Change. Luke Rudkowski, you blow me away. Luke's been fighting for 9/11 truth for 6-7 years. What, he's 22 years old now, 23? And when New York 9/11 truth didn't want him getting hardcore, they threw him out of the group. And we supported him here, launched We Are Change, supported it. And now it's got, I don't know, over 100 chapters all over the world. And they're doing real journalism, real confrontations, real muckraking. Luke Rudkowski, and to all We Are Change, I salute you. My listeners salute you. By the way, we found a clean video shot from another camera phone of the Dick Cheney, and on top of it, Newt Gingrich also being confronted. We're going to add that to Aaron Dykes' article that's at Infowars.com. Now, it's only in the tiles up there on the big video box, so you have to kind of look for it. I'm going to have Aaron add it as one of the top featured news stories. Luke Rudkowski's joining us, who just confronted Dick Cheney at CPAC. They got the video up today, right in his face, calmly saying, "You ordered the stand-down order. Norman Mineta's on record in testimony. You've been caught lying about that. You're a terrorist. You carried it out." And boy, he looks guilty as sin. Literally like Darth Vader with his heart assist pump on the outside of his body. The New York Times reports Dick Cheney has no pulse. You've got this high-tech undead ghoul who's incredibly dangerous, launched a war that killed over 1 million Iraqis conservatively. And I'm kind of creeped out having Infowars.com tagged on the video, which I'm glad they did it. But I want listeners to realize what we're doing. You know, when I call the White House and tell them I know they staged 9/11, or I call Homeland Security on air to talk about Anwar al-Awlaki working for the Pentagon on record and report it to the FBI, I see videos that are made and get emails saying it's fake because people can't believe that we have the will to do this. When I videotaped urban warfare drills with the U.S. Marines openly training to put Americans in camps, people email us and say it's fake, even though it's on the news that the Marines were there and that we were there. But I don't think I've ever done things like Luke Rudkowski's done. I mean, I've confronted Bush and was arrested for it, and I almost broke my shoulder. And I've confronted Janet Reno and others. But Luke's probably confronted David Rockefeller. I mean, the list goes on for hours. I mean, Luke Rudkowski has had death threats at his home. He's confronted point blank Larry Silverstein about admittingly blowing up the towers and Building 7. I mean, I've got to say, Luke Rudkowski's the man. The man, the man, the man. The true spirit of 1776, a true man, a true leader, a person risking his life. I hope you realize, folks, we're all risking our lives here. This is not a game. And if we can do it, you can do it. I know why a lot of you can't believe this stuff. People are saying this Dick Cheney video is fake. Because you can't handle the fact that there are people of honor and will who are doing this for all of us. I understand why some of you can't believe it, because you can't believe in yourself. But we are having an effect. Ron Paul did win the CPAC poll, which now 2 years in a row, legendary. People are waking up. We can get the country back. But if you want to do it, you got to look in the mirror. Now, well, it's lonely at the top. Must be lonely for Luke. Such courage. Founded We Are Change 3 years ago, 20-something years old. I'm really proud of Luke Rudkowski. Can proudly say he's a protege of my work. WeAreChange.org has been hacked and attacked. It's now been brought down right in Dick Cheney's face. We played it earlier in the hour. The video's up at Infowars.com since WeAreChange.org has been hacked. Don't worry. There's hundreds of other websites and chapters. You can't get us all. But Luke is risking his life, confronting Dick Cheney point blank, saying, "We know you did 9/11. The NORAD stand down. You're a terrorist. You're a murderer." Luke, we only got 4 minutes. I'm going to try to get you back up tomorrow for a couple segments. But tell us what it was like, not just on video, but anything else that happened, and how you've got this much courage and how others can emulate what you've done and use you as a model of true honor.
I'm nobody special. I'm just like everybody else. All it takes is just a commitment to truth and love, and going out there and being able to speak what's in your heart and what's in your mind. And me and James Lane teamed up from WeAreChange, Oklahoma. We were scouting all of the CPAC, all of the Hilton Hotel.
That's right. He's another hero, James Lane.
James Lane of WeAreChange, Oklahoma, and me and him noticed the Secret Service guard holding an elevator, and just knowing that from my experiences confronting other individuals, I knew just to stick around there. Newt Gingrich came around, I asked him about Bohemian Grove, and then out of nowhere, Dick Cheney just comes out of nowhere, and my heart just sank. My heart just like, it just went nuts, and I just knew I had to say something, and I looked him right in the eyes, and I told him, you know, what did you do on 9/11 in the presidential bunker? And that feeling of just being able to walk up to him, his face, his reaction, the pictures that came out of it are just incredible. And anybody could do this, and that's what I'm trying to show, is that these people are just regular individuals. We have the power. We have the authority. We have everything we ever needed and wanted, and we have the courage to go up there and talk to these individuals. That's all it takes. Going up there with just love and compassion for truth, being calm, not screaming when you're getting pushed or shoved, and just being on your best behavior and just speaking truth. And that feeling, even after finishing that confrontation, I remember just running out of there and just feeling so empowered, feeling so great. And I want to share that with everybody, and I hope people who listen and I hope the people who watch get encouraged, get involved. And whatever you call yourself, if you call yourself an info warrior or a WeAreChanger, I don't even care. It's what you do that matters. It's the fruit of your labor.
Well, info warriors are WeAreChangers, and WeAreChangers are info warriors. It's the spirit of 1776. But for PrisonPlanet.tv viewers, we're showing the video to people. I mean, you got within about 3 feet of Cheney, and when you said, we know you ordered the Standdown on 9/11, though he looked at you with evil, but also with defeat. He realizes in the history books it's going to be known that he ran 9/11.
He looked at me, he snarled a little bit, and then he put his head down in shame. He put his head down in shame. And that feeling, that look in his face, and just being able to make eye contact with him was one of the most powerful feelings in the world. And I'm going to be doing this full time. I just graduated college. I just quit my job. And I wanted to let everybody know this is only the beginning. I'm just going to start doing this full time. I hope people support me, because that's all I want to do in my life right now, is go out there and confront these evil people with, compassion. I feel sorry for Dick Cheney, honestly. I honestly feel sorry because of what he did and what he has to live with for the rest of his eternity, with his soul and his spirit are decrepit and destroyed. And if we just stay with compassion within our hearts, we could do anything. And that search for truth, for justice and freedom and liberty, and exposing what happened, the horrible crimes on 9/11, that's what life's about.
Well, Luke, how are you tomorrow at 1 so we can have a victory lap, but also organize, talk about some of the other confrontations? 2 Eastern. Are you good at 2 Eastern tomorrow?
Yeah, I'll be good for 2 Eastern.
Well, this phone sounds great. Good landline. Hell, let's do at least 30 minutes with you tomorrow. The video is up at Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. WeAreChange.org has been blasted. And, folks, get support to Luke, because we need this warrior out there full-time for the Republic, exposing these criminals for their real crimes. And watch your 6. Everybody pray for Luke, that God send angels to protect him. And I need some of those prayers, too, because my name's on that video as well. Luke, I salute you. You are something special. I'll say bye to you during the break.